Hello, I'm Eve from the University of Pennsylvania's English Language Programs, and today we're talking about the Duolingo English Test, the DET. In this video, we're going to talk about the ungraded speaking and writing samples. First, we'll talk about the purpose of this section of the test. Then we'll look at an example of the speaking task, and then an example of the writing task. Finally, we'll talk about tips and strategies for the ungraded speaking and writing section. So why have an ungraded speaking and writing sample? This ungraded section is the third and final section of the DET. This section is ungraded, which means that your speaking response nor your writing response are evaluated and included in your overall score or in your subscores. It is, however, shared with colleges and universities, those colleges and universities where you're sending your score report. These samples will go with that score report. They're added information for those admissions committees. So it's a chance for colleges and universities to see your English in action. So while they might not be important as far as the score you receive on the DET, they could be important parts of your application. It's also important to know that in this section, you have the opportunity to choose the prompt that you'd like to respond to from two options. This is true for both the speaking and the writing tasks. You're given 30 seconds to read two prompts, and then once you select one, your response time begins. Let's take a look at the speaking task. The instructions say, speak for 1 to 3 minutes on the topic below. Just below the instructions, you'll see the question you're responding to. And as a reminder, you will have just read this question because you selected it from the previous screen. For this example, the question is, choose a plant or animal that you have learned about and that you think is interesting. Describe some of the challenges or dangers that the organism faces and explain how it has adapted for survival. To the right of the question, you'll see yourself responding to the question. This is exactly what the admissions committees of the colleges and universities where you send your score, this is exactly what they'll see. Let's take a look at the writing. The instructions say, write for 3 to 5 minutes on the topic below. And again, you will just have selected this prompt, so this will be the second time you're reading it. For this example, the question is, do you think parents should be held responsible if their child causes trouble in school or in public? Why or why not? To the right of the prompt, you can see the text box where you will type your response. Remember, this is a chance to show colleges and universities that you have the language skills necessary to be successful in your academic life. So while this isn't officially scored, it is important to do your best on this section. One way to prepare for this section of the test is to practice responding to different types of questions using the time frames for the speaking and writing task. So practice what it feels like to speak for 3 minutes. The instructions say that you should speak for 1 to 3 minutes, but again, you want to give your best impression. So doing the minimum or only speaking for a minute may not help you look like a serious candidate to those colleges and universities. The same goes for the writing sample. It says to write for 3 to 5 minutes, but take the full 5 minutes. That should be enough time to write a connected, cohesive paragraph, also to reread your response and check for errors. Next, stay on topic. Remember, you have 2 options for the speaking and the writing sample, and that topic is shared along with your response to those colleges and universities. That means if you drift off topic or your answer doesn't quite match the question, your audience will see that. So take the full 30 seconds you have before choosing to make sure you understand your options. Chances are the questions will be asking you to do one of 3 things. 1, talk about an experience. 2, describe something. Or 3, make an argument. So as you read your prompts, the options you have, see which one you're most comfortable answering and choose that prompt. And finally, show off your language skills. Similar to the graded adaptive section, the skills you exhibit in this unscored section are skills you'll need beyond the DET. So, for example, task relevancy or answering the question is good practice for the DET, but also when you're in college, right? Using a range of sentence structures with few to no mistakes, yes, this will help you on the DET, but it's also something we strive to do when using our language skills in general. Just as using stress and pausing in the graded speaking section, it will help your score, but also doing those things here will show that you're able to speak in a way that can be easily understood by people in everyday life. I say this because it's the same structures, strategies, pronunciation tips, punctuation rules. All of the things that you've been studying for the graded adaptive section are also helpful here, and you want to show those skills to colleges and universities. These are just a few strategies to help you when you are completing the ungraded speaking and writing section of the DET. Remember, you can practice more of this type of question or other types of questions on the DET website. Thanks for checking out this video about the DET ungraded section, and you can find more videos like this on the Penn ELP YouTube channel.